Hi there, welcome along to another workout for you to row along to. It's week 5, session 5 of the 5K plan. It's all about the fives. And today we're going to do a mid-tier workout to see it all off, which will then give you a chance to have a rest day if you wish, and then do a 5K test if you wish. Anyway, so today's session is going to be 3 12-minute intervals with 2 minutes rest in between. Now I quite like these sessions where the stroke rate goes up, but the time you row for goes down. So what we're going to do is the first 6 minutes of the 12 minutes, we're going to do 18 strokes per minute and at 2K plus 20. Then we're going to go up to 22 strokes per minute and 2K plus 16 for 4 minutes. Then we're going to finish off with 2 minutes at 26 strokes per minute and 2K plus 9. We're going to do that for all 3 of them. So in the end, you're doing 36 minutes worth of rowing at this slightly increasing pace. And this is what's going to keep it at a mid-tier workout. So the 18s are going to feel a little bit bottom-tiery, but by the time you get through to the 26s and you've done it 3 times, it'll feel like a good mid-tier workout for you. Right, let's get into our 4-minute warm-up. Start off by setting the drag factor on your machine. If you don't know about drag factor, where to set it, then do check out the video on the YouTube channel. Next up, go to your monitor, set it at eye height so you don't have to look up and you don't have to look down. And finally, the foot straps, get them so they cover either the bottom lace on your shoe, or if you're in socks like me, then they will let you hinge forward comfortably at the front when you go forwards. Anyway, right. Let's get into our 4-minute warm-up. So 18 strokes a minute, and I'll walk you through it, or talk you through it, or row you through it in 3, 2, 1, go. So just get moving, see if there's anything niggling you or kind of just feeling a bit stiff as we start this warm-up. I got a strange little sensation from my left foot as I pushed off on that first stroke. Let's hope that doesn't continue. But just use this 4 minutes to get your blood pumping around, your heart goes up a little bit. Like I say, you could get a chance to just do a quick a sit rep on your body, make sure everything's ready for a good long workout today, really. I mean, there's nothing too taxing about it, but like I say, 36 minutes worth of rowing, still gonna feel like a fair old whack. Okay, so we're a minute into this warm-up. Just have a wee think about where the power's coming from. Make sure you've got a good solid leg drive, that you're connecting with the flywheel at the front of the machine, pushing the machine away with your feet, and then letting your straight arms just allow the power to flow through into the machine before you pull your arms in to finish the stroke. And then your back is rocking forwards and backwards. But I'll cover more about technique in the main session. In the meantime, 2 more strokes. And then 1 more here. Take one of your feet out of the foot straps, put it on the floor, continue rowing with just 1 foot in the foot strap. Good press still from that leg that's in there. You don't really want to ease up just because you're only on 1 leg. You'll notice you're kind of, I don't know, about maybe 5 to 10 seconds slower with 1 leg, but still good press. Swap feet. Continue. Same thing. Just push with a leg that's still connected. Get a nice compression at the front of the machine with only 1 leg in. This will help your flexibility. Also means you're not getting too tired during the warm-up. It's a good drill, this one, for flexibility. So I allow you to concentrate on your legs. Okay, both feet in. Get your legs straight with a tiny bend in your knees just so you're not locking them out, and then row with your back and your arms. So swing your back forwards and then backwards, forwards, and then backwards, I'm going to finish the stroke off by pulling the arms into your chest. And just make sure you're rocking forwards and back with your back going through your hips rather than bending your lower back. Now go to the front of the machine with straight arms and just push off with your legs. Keep those arms straight and try and get the connection at the front of the machine. That's what you're worried about here, so don't worry too much about driving too far back. Just get that little moment at the front when you pick up the flywheel. Get that timing right. One more stroke and we're all done. Simple warm up today. So there we go. Keep moving up and down the rail, have a quick drink, and I'll explain one more time what it is we're doing today. Okay, so the hoodie's off. Let's hope it warms up in the studio today. So what we're doing today is 3 12-minute intervals with 2 minutes rest in between. Now, if you're going to set your monitor for this when you're rowing along, then make sure to set the rest to undefined, just to make sure we don't hit any sync issues. And do set it just as 12 minutes times 3, even though we're breaking those 12 minutes down into chunks. Because what we're going to do is 6 minutes at 18 strokes a minute at 2k plus 20, which is 5k plus 15. Then we're going to do 4 minutes at 22 strokes per minute at 2k plus 16, which is 5k plus 11. And then we're going to finish off with 2 minutes at 26 strokes per minute at 2k plus 9, which is 5k plus 4. So very much a mid-tier workout today. And yes, those first 6 minutes are going to feel like a bottom tier, but as we get through the workout, and especially because you're doing it 3 times, it will solidly feel as though it's a mid-tier. Don't worry about it. Anyway, let's get started then. There's no point me sitting here talking away to you at 1,000,000 miles an hour when we could actually run a rowing machine doing it. So here we go then. Starting off at 18 strokes a minute for 6 minutes, and your pace is going to be 2k plus 20, run about 5k plus 15. Okay, here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. Right, so remember 18 strokes a minute is 1 stroke every 3 1/3 seconds. So just stay with me. If you're watching this on YouTube, follow me for the stroke rate. Or if you're just listening to this on the audio podcast, then the whoosh of the machine coupled with the counter on your monitor should be enough for your stroke rate. But 18 strokes a minute is a very useful pace because it's just slow enough that you can really concentrate on what's happening with your stroke, but also you do have to give a good solid push from your legs in order to get the pace you're looking for. 2k plus 20 for me is 2:05, so that's what I'm aiming for. And it's only 6 minutes at this, so 2k plus 20 is ample. You shouldn't really need to slow down much in order to keep this at a mid-tier. 2k plus 20 should be perfect. Now remember, like I said, if you do have a 5k training time, if you've done a 5k test before starting this plan, and so therefore you have an average time, 500 meter time for a 5k, then please use that rather than a 2k time, because the extrapolation doesn't really work that well for everybody. So accurate is better. So you can have a wee think about your technique. We've already spoken about making sure the power is coming from your legs, that you push the machine away with your legs. And if you think about that, rather than thinking about it being a pulling motion, so yes, your arms are vital, not only as a power conduit, but also at the finish of the stroke. But nearly all the power comes here from your legs. So make sure you're pushing from the front. With nice straight arms, relaxed shoulders, so you should be nice and kind of floppy from the shoulders. Same with your arms themselves, nice and relaxed. Fingers like hooks, just over the handle, thumbs underneath preferably. And those kind of, that open palmed fingers like hooks should help when it comes to getting sweaty hands and blisters and things. Admittedly, in one of the last sessions I did let go of the handle, so don't be too loose. Yeah, nice and relaxed at the front with your arms is key to allowing the power to come up through your body, through your arms and into the handle in the machine. So that's why I keep on talking about it that way. Because if you're all tense and choking the life out the handle, not only are you wasting quite a lot of energy by being so tense, but you're kind of likely to be fighting against the power that you're putting into the machine rather than helping. It's the same reason why you want straight arms and not bent arms. If you have an early elbow bend, yeah, you're using your big muscles in order to hold on, and you might feel there were bent elbows, so that because you're pulling, you're straining against it, you're putting that force into the machine, but you're not. You're robbing yourself of being able to put that pace into the machine at the back end of the stroke. Hang on, I slipped right off pace because I was demonstrating the bent elbows. There we go. All right, so in 15 seconds, we're going to increase the stroke rate to 22, and the pace, we're going to go up to 2K plus 16. So here we go. 22 strokes a minute, 2K plus 16. Which for me is, I want to see 201 on the monitor. Not 202, come on. Now, the increase in stroke rate should have been all it took, okay? You shouldn't really have had to think that you're needing to push any more with your legs than you were before. You'll be kind of subconsciously pushing harder with your legs in order to increase the stroke rate. So it kind of takes care of itself, and you're certainly not increasing pace by pulling harder. Okay? So if you push just a little bit harder in order to increase stroke rate, the arms will take care of themselves. Make sure to still finish at the back end of the stroke, but you don't have to feel like you're really increasing that pulling power. And it's gonna, certainly up until about 26 strokes per minute, it's very natural to just increase stroke rate and then have a matching increase in pace. It's kind of when you get to 28 strokes a minute and above, that's when you kind of need to push harder with the legs to really increase your pace. And make sure your back is leaning forwards to a 1 o'clock position at the front of the stroke, and then you're swinging through the hips into an 11 o'clock position at the back of the stroke, and then forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. Now, the important thing is to hold that forward lean as you start the leg drive. So run about halfway through the leg drive, maintaining your forward lean, and only when you're halfway through do you rock over your hips and swing into that 11 o'clock position, and then you pull your arms in to finish the stroke before pushing your arms straight back out again at the same pace they came in at, and then your body rocks forwards at the same time, so you're already in that forward lean for the next stroke. Okay, 10 seconds to go, and we're going to go up to 26. 2 more strokes. Okay, 26 strokes per minute and 2K plus 9. Just let that push from your legs that you need in order to increase your stroke rate be what guides your pace. For me, 2K plus 9 is 154. So that's what I want to see on my monitor. You might feel at this stage that your heart rate's getting up a bit, but it shouldn't feel anywhere near breaking out of the mid-tier zone. Should just feel hard, but nowhere near top. 1 minute to go. Just concentrate on holding a stroke rate and not letting your pace drop. Should all fall together, especially after 5 weeks on this plan together. "30 seconds to go. About 10 strokes to go. And you'll get a wee drink and we can do it all again." Such fun. All right, so we've got 10 seconds to go. 3 strokes maybe. Can we get this last one in? Not really, but there you go, interval 1 done. It's just a good kind of steady rise. You're gonna spend 2 minutes to recover, steady rise. So it's a good, don't know how you'd kind of physiologically give it a kind of a nickname or whatever, but mid-tier is the best way to go. You're spending most of it just developing your aerobic system, and you're not really getting anywhere near anaerobic threshold or kind of running out of oxygen and energy from your muscles. Your heart rate's getting up there into that kind of middle ground, which don't want to spend too long in the middle ground, because you are better at either being down in the bottom tier foundation engine building or the top tier really hard stuff. The middle ground, it's a little bit sketchy as to how useful that becomes, or whether it's actually just your heart's working hard but not really. But the important thing is that by going through stroke rates and kind of it feeling a little bit tougher at points, it's more about the mental thing that you're used to rowing that little bit harder, even if it's just for the 2 minutes at the end there. You're used to controlling your body and attenuating your pace from stroke rates. So yes, the base fitness comes from the bottom tier, and your strength and aerobic fitness comes from the top tier, but the mid ones are still important. Right, if you're on undefined rests, then please press your button to get ready to start the next interval, which we're going to start in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. In fact, so much so for what I'm saying about the bottom versus mid-tier. Oh, hang on, just a quick reminder, we're at 18 strokes a minute and 2k plus 20, just in case you forgot. And I certainly didn't mention it, so yeah. So as we're closing in to the end of the 5k plan, thoughts turn to what comes next. Now, right now, it's Halloween. I can actually hear every now and then spooky noises from outside, from the next door neighbours. But in 3 weeks' time, it's the Scottish Indoor Rowing Championships, or virtual ones anyway. And then 2 weeks after that is the British Rowing Indoor Championships, both of which I'm going to enter for a 500 metre event. I still don't trust my shoulder to do a 2k, so basically that's a long way of saying once the 5k plan's done, I'm going to shift instantly into a 500 metre plan. And for this, I'm only going to do bottom tier and top tier work. There'll be times that I do a bottom intro and like a top outro, but I'm going to try not to do any kind of middle ground stuff. It'll either be good foundation building or it'll be strength, power building, or lung busting top tier stuff. Just to mix things up a bit. See what happens. It'll be an interesting test, if nothing else. I might do the bottom tier stuff at a Maffetone heart rate, which is a lot lower than I would normally train at. But if I start off with a baseline 500 metre test and then train how I've just described, we'll see what happens after 4 weeks and then 6 weeks when I do the races. Could be fun, and it's certainly good for you, so you're not going to miss out on anything by following along with me. And why not enter the 2 races as well? Anyone from all over the world can be part of it, so why not? I'll be entering the 40 to 49, hopefully lightweight. At last weigh-in, I was 76 kilograms, and that was a week ago. So I'm kind of hoping that'll be under 75 kilograms by the time these races come round in 4 weeks and then 6 weeks. I know I'm probably just running scared from the 2K, but my shoulder does feel better and I don't want to risk re-injuring by letting my ego take over for a 2K. I've been sensible for the past 4 months, so I think I can manage the next 6 weeks. And after all, there's an element of that I want to do this because I enjoy competition. It's not all just about fitness and strength and a little bit of vanity. It's also about wanting to compete on a top stage, really, even if it is going to be from here over the internet rather than in a sports hall or the Lee Valley Velodrome. All right, so I very purposefully spent the past 5.5 minutes talking about the plan and things to try and give you a chance to either concentrate on elements of your technique or to go into autopilot, and then we can analyze your stroke and try and work out if you've got any power leaks going on. So in 2 more strokes, we're going up to 22 strokes a minute. Okay, so here we go. 22s and 2K plus 16. So 201 for me is what I'm looking for on the monitor. I'll accept a second plus or minus, but I don't want to go too much faster and risk breaking out of a mid-tier workout. But I also don't want to go too much slower to risk it becoming a bottom tier and not quite giving me that mid-tier workout. So here we go. What's your back doing? Are you rocking from a 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock? Are you holding that forward lean as your legs engage the drive? Are you getting back into that forward lean quickly and smoothly so that as you slide to the front of the machine, you're ready, you're not still leaning forwards and at risk of a over lean? If you can just get there and hold it, it's much better. I mean, that's my problem with this tiny little extra shrug I do at the front. So I just keep leaning forwards. Just wish I could stop it. Okay, 2 more minutes to go on this stroke rate. And yeah, what are your arms doing? They're nice and straight? Or are you bending your elbows too soon and using your big guns to fight against the handle and therefore lose out on a chunk of power? It might not feel natural if you're used to always bending your elbows, but trust me, if you can drive with straight arms
and let the power get in from your legs, and then bend your arms and use the full range of your arms pulling in. Once you get used to it, you should find that you're going like 1 or 2 seconds faster. But that does all rely on the forward lean, the straight arms, and that push of the machine with your feet, pushing the machine away through the wall in front of you, or into the treadmill in front of you if you're in a gym, or into the washing machine if you're set up in the garage, or spare room, or you know what I'm trying to say. Push it away. All right, 2 more strokes, then we're going up to 26. So here we go, 26 strokes a minute and 2K plus 9 pace, which is 1:54 for me. Hopefully, now that you're on the second interval, you'll be more used to these rate increases, and it'll feel much more natural to just boost a tiny bit of power from your legs, but still maintain the same basic technique of leaning forwards and backwards and forwards. If you can try and grind in the same technique no matter what stroke rate you're doing, you will be a faster, more efficient rower with a better chance of protecting against injuries. Whereas if you're quite ropey, slapping up and down, jerking back and forwards, you're likely to pull a muscle in your lower back or in your shins, or even your neck from flapping about so much. Okay, so in about 5 strokes, maybe. We're gonna get 2 more. 1 more. That was better. Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. So, nice gentle slope, rise at the end, and recover. I can just hear kids shouting outside. Oh, just realised I've still got my red microphone attached today. I have one. Well, I have a black one, a blue one, red ones. I think I've got an orange to go with the t-shirts, but I always forget to change them. Make sure and drink. Stay hydrated for a workout like this. I mean, like I say, it's 36 minutes worth of rowing. You're going to be moist, going to be perspiring quite a lot through this, and so what you don't want is to start stressing your body through dehydration rather than just do the effort of rowing. I'd much rather you were hydrated and working hard than not actually working that hard, but your heart rate going through the roof because you're not been drinking enough. So that said, I'm gonna have a second swig, excuse me. Oh, well, there's nothing like Scottish water, you know. Go on holiday to places, Tenerife and Mallorca, America, the water just doesn't taste the same. Don't know why, it could be psychosomatic, but it's just something about Scottish water. All right, or 15 seconds to go. So if you're on undefined rests, go ahead and press your button to get ready for the next interval, which is going to start in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So 18 strokes a minute, 2K plus 20. Just hold for all 3 time spans across this. Hold the same paces that you have before. We're not even going to chuck in a cheeky little sprint at the end. We're just going to maintain 2K plus 20, then 2K plus 16, then 2K plus 9. Remember, this is the end of the 5K plan, so it's kind of customary to, quite soon after you finish the plan, do a 5K test, just so that you can see whether you've got any faster since the last time you did one. So in order to do that, you want to make sure your energy system is tip top. You don't want to be feeling the fatigue after pushing a session like this too hard. You want sessions like these to kind of keep you kind of revved up and ready to go. So you do this one, take a day's rest, and then maybe hit the 5K after that, or you could do a bottom tier workout which ends for like 1 minute at your 5K desired pace, and then the next day do your 5K test. I mean, you don't have to do one. You could just do the training plans just as a way to give you variety over 5 weeks. You might have absolutely no desire at all to actually row a 5K, which is absolutely fine. But if you are training for performance, it does make sense to do a 5K test and then be able to tweak your training pace. Because of course, maybe your old 5K, you did it in 20 minutes flat, which will give you a 5K training pace of 2 minutes. So you'd be rowing this at 2 minutes and 15 seconds, because you're 5K plus 15. But then you do a 5K test and suddenly you've improved by like, say, 50 seconds. Because that's how amazing this plan is, that you'll improve by 50 seconds. Actually, I'm just saying that so I can do the maths. So if you do it again at 19 minutes and 10 seconds, your average 500 meter time will now be 1:55. So you'd be doing this at 2:10, 5 seconds quicker than you were before. And then because you're training at a higher intensity, which is now a reflection of your speed and power, you'll continue to develop fitness and power through another cycle, and then you can do another 5K test. Whereas if you just continued at your previous time, I mean, you'd improve a bit, but you'd pretty much plateau eventually. So all I'm saying is, in order for the training pace guides that I give you to be accurate, you kind of want to make sure you've got an accurate 5K test in the bag or if you're on the 2K plan, an accurate 2K test. 500 meters isn't quite the same. We still base that off a 2K time, and then all the top tier stuff is usually just as hard as you can go. So, but it's still important that you set a baseline at the beginning of the 500 meter plan, so you know how you're getting on 4 weeks into it, and then how you're getting on 2 weeks later. I say you, I mean me, terribly selfish me. But remember, I'm really just using you because you watch these videos. I need to keep making them, and because I keep making them, I'm getting fitter and faster and stronger. So thank you very much. Okay, one more stroke, then we're going up to 22s. Here we go. "22 strokes a minute, 2K plus 16. So I want to be round about 201. Hopefully you're in that 2K plus 16 or 5K plus 11 area, and holding the stroke rate. I mean, in many ways, the stroke rate switch ups are more important than the accuracy of your pace increases. Being able to control your body and know what it takes to go up and down different stroke rates shows that you know your style, you know your technique, you know what your body's capable of, what you need to do to go faster and still hold the good technique. Speaking of which, let's just spend a couple of minutes talking about some other parts of it. Now, one thing I tend to always have as a afterthought is handle height. I tend to go through the whole stroke and then at the end, with 20 seconds to go, realise I haven't spoken about handle height. So you might notice I've got a piece of red tape at the front of the machine. Unless, of course, you're listening to this on a podcast, in which case, imagine a piece of red tape on the, what I call the throat, which is where the chain passes through underneath the monitor. Now I've got a piece of red tape about 1.5 inches, 2 inches below the top of that hole, and that is the height I want the handle to be at when I start my stroke. And to be honest, I don't want it to go higher than that, and don't want it to go too much lower. So nice neutral height at the front, pulling in to sternum height, then straight back out to that neutral height again. Because I don't row in the water, I don't really tap down as though I'm taking a blade out of the water and then back in. So I just try and keep the handle as level on a kind of a plane of travel as possible. And then pulling back Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Send your elbows through your sides. And that should keep the handle at sternum height. Right, 2 more strokes. 1 more. And now our last 26s. 2K plus 9 at 26 strokes a minute. Oh, a bit slow today. There we go. So, the last thing really is just mentioning how far you slide to the front of the machine as you go in to take your stroke at the catch. And what you want is your shins to point vertically up and down, and that gets you into the right compression with that forward lean to really spring out of the front when you drive, pushing with your legs. Your heels can come up. Don't listen to anyone that says they have to stay flat, but they can only come up if you have that forward lean, shoulders past your hips, and as you get to the front of the machine, you should be up on your sit bones. Now, if any of that confuses you, check out the rowing technique hacks video that I have on YouTube, which goes through all of that. Okay, 10 seconds. We get 3 more strokes. 1 more. There we go. That was a good workout. I mean, I finished at 167 heart rate, so my max on the machine so far has been 175. So I was certainly up there at the end, but because it was only for 2 minutes, didn't really dip into the top tier where I need to lie down on the floor afterwards. Certainly the combination of it being 36 minutes worth of rowing and it being kind of then the combination of the little 26 strokes a minute to 2K plus 9 at the end, that's why I'm breathing heavy, and that's what makes it a hard mid-tier. But for me anyway, it didn't go anywhere near top tier. It certainly wasn't anywhere near bottom tier. So, right, shall we do a 2 minute cool down together? Let's. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go. Just continue at whatever stroke rate you wish. I suggest one that when you're putting in just a nice solid drive but not too hard, puts you at a pace of around about 2K plus 30 or 5K plus 25. Just enough to flush out your system. You still need to engage your muscles. You're not just flopping up and down like one of those gym users that I've had that rant before, haven't I? About PTs that stick their client on a rowing machine as a warm-up and then they just talk away to them the whole time. They don't tell them to push with their legs. They're constantly just going back and forwards in a very lackluster manner, talking about going to the pub last night and yet when they go and jump onto MyFitnessPal and log it in their diary, they'll be like, oh, yes, I had a 10-minute row. That's going to be at least 300 calories. Bring me a Mars bar, stat. And then they wonder why they're not losing any weight. It's all about working out exactly what you need to do. So if you're exercising and you're counting your calories, you make sure you're doing that exercise to burn the maximum that you want to for that session, which means the right technique, etc. And then when it comes to food, you're aware of what you're putting in your mouth. And it's not just about calories, it's about kind of nutritional content as well. I mean, you can eat a lot of protein. Hang on, one more stroke for me and I am finished, but you can carry on. Say you were to eat 2,000 calories worth of protein. That's a lot of protein. But 2,000 calories worth of sugars, carbohydrates and stuff, that's only what, like 5 Mars bars, which isn't a lot. And the nutritional content of the two varies. Anyway, I ain't no nutritionist. Hashtag nutritionalist. It's like the Billy Connolly sketch when he's talking about the reason that linoleum went out of business is that no one could pronounce it. So people would go up and say, I'll have a roll of linoleum. Guys, like, excuse me, what do you want? A roll of linoleum. A what? A aluminum. A Roman in the globin. Anyway, do check. If you've never watched the Billy Connolly stand-up routine before and you've got no idea what I'm on about, then do check it out. There's a great one, Billy and Albert, him at the Royal Albert Concert Hall. Must be, I don't know, about 35 years old, that video. But it's not safe for work. I mean, sweary. But if you're looking for something to laugh at, then Billy Connolly, Billy and Albert is just, I've got very fond memories watching that with my poor mum. It's now left us. I've just brought that memory back. Anyway, so yeah, hashtag, what was it? The hashtag, let's just say nutrition, okay? Because I talked about that, or linoleum. I just spell it however you want. Anyway, right, so there we go. This is my random sign off for the very end of the 5K plan. I do hope you enjoyed the past 5 weeks rowing this. I do hope that you do a test just to see if it worked or not. But of course, like I say, you don't have to. There's no stress, there's no pressure for you to do it. I'm not going to shout at you if you don't say, oh, I did a test and I was faster, well done you. It's up to you. This could just have been something just to keep you entertained and intrigued and whatever for the past 5 weeks, in which case I hope that's exactly what happened. I hope you've managed to put up with me. And remember, I've also got the 2K plan up here. Got a whole bunch of standalone sessions, quite a lot from a while back that are still under the old brand and slightly different format and kind of stuff, and me might kind of redo all those videos eventually. But yeah, so there's lots of stuff on here that you can do. You don't have to go around the plan. And then, like I say, remember, keep an eye out for the 500 meter plan, which should be dropping, well, from next week, really. I think there's only a few weeks left until I've got the races to do for now. But of course, if you're watching this in January, then you're going to be like, what's he on about? He's mad. Yeah. So there we go. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you for putting up with me. Do stay safe, please be well, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.